Getting feedback from me?
Nope. You're good now.
All right.
Whatever you did, it was magic.
That is strange, yes.
All right, so we are officially live on air right now, and I haven't pasted this link yet, but I'm going to do that here in just a moment so people can find us. But really, I want to just kind of welcome everybody. This is the Google Educator group for Eastern Missouri, and we're just kind of getting started and getting people into our Hangout, and we're going to get ready to roll here. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this link in, and then we'll share our screen and get rolling with our Hangout tonight.
Sounds good. Okay. So, Don, can you hear me? Don, hello? Let's see. Chat. No.
Oh, Don is gone.
He's gone. All right.
I'll invite him here in a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
That is not what I want. Why can't... All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get. Oh, there's Kelly. So we can get. So Patrick, you can get started with.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to start my thing first here.
You pasted the link in the event and all that?
I haven't yet. I'm about to though.
Okay. Let me know when you've done that, and then I'll start.
Yeah. I'm trying to... It's weird. I don't have the... What is going on? Sorry, guys. Something random is happening with my ability to post our link.
Oh.
Actually, truly, it should be in the... It should be live on our events page now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's live.
Okay.
So we should be okay. So let me share my screen, and then we will...
It is shared, I think.
Can you see the...
I can see it.
You can see the GEG?
Yep. Ryan, can you see it?
What am I looking for?
You should be seeing a PowerPoint, you know, a slide deck. What is...
I'm not seeing it.
You can't hear me because my mic is muted, but I cannot see it either.
Weird. All right, well, has an attitude. See if that helps. Yep, that does help. All right, so we're just going to have to... Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, you're good.
Now, let me see what happens when I put it into full presentation mode. Can you see the entire screen?
No.
Right at the moment.
Nothing?
It's the blank.
Okay.
White.
Well, here we go. Now it's back, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so let's just make this a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Silly Google. All right, there we go. We'll just flip through it this way.
Sounds good. All right, so welcome everybody. This is our GEG Eastern Missouri first event, and we're kicking it off with a hangout today, kind of a back-to-school hangout for this evening, where we are just going to review like what is a Google Educator group, and then we have some special guests here with us tonight, where we're just going to share some things we're really excited about for the coming school year. Click slide.
So Patrick, why don't you go ahead and introduce let's go ahead and introduce everybody first.
Well, all right. So, all right. My name is Patrick Dempsey, and I'm from Webster Grove School District, and I teach 8th grade science there. Go, Ryan.
All right, I'm Ryan Beckman. I teach at the Parkway School District, and I teach 7th grade science.
Greg.
I'm Greg Lawrence. I'm from the Winsville School District. I'm an instructional technology coach there, and excited to be with you tonight.
And Stacy.
Stacia, can you? Oh, you don't? Okay. So Stacia, let me tell you about Stacia. Stacia is a librarian in the Parkway School District. She is going into her 2nd year as a librarian, and she was actually, I met Stacia. She was a student of mine at Missouri Baptist before she came to Parkway, and so we. Yeah, it was pretty interesting that our paths cross again. So she's pretty googly, and I'm pretty excited that she's here tonight.
Awesome. Cool. And Don, is your mic working?
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay,
so
good.
Don, tell us where do you teach and what do you teach?
Okay, I teach English and Social Studies at Hickson Middle School in Webster Groves.
All right. And Bill.
Excellent. So I'm Bill Bass. I am a innovation coordinator in the Parkway School District, and I am responsible for technology integration and the library program in Parkway.
Perfect. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what is a Google Educator group. So why are we here? We are here to explore. We're really here to explore Google applications as people in the education field and think about how some of these tools can be integrated into our classrooms. So we just kind of have a different perspective on some of these tools that Google is putting out, and when we all get together, we can really learn a lot from each other. So through that, we hope to enhance some of our teaching and learning practices with some of the tools that are out there and work together and collaborate. We're part of a community so that we can connect with people in the Eastern Missouri area, but also connect with other people outside of that, as there are people in our group who are nowhere near Eastern Missouri. And then finally, guide students to harness the power of technology. That's what we're doing. We're working together as a community and learning from one another so that we can equip kids. And the mission to build and activate and motivate community of Google educators. So we're just really a group that is gathered to help each other learn more and ultimately help students. What do we got next?
Right on. All right.
Greg or Bill, would you add anything to that?
I think the only thing that I would add is that as we think about what this group is and what it means, a little history behind this. A lot of people have been working. A lot of people from Google and a lot of people in different areas have been working together over the years, trying to really bring people together and give them an opportunity to collaborate and talk. And that's what this is really about. Is Google kind of tried to systemize the ability to give educators specifically a voice and to give them people that they can reach out to in their area. And I think that's why I know for myself and Patrick and Greg, that's why we're excited about this, and that's why we wanted to kind of get going with creating an educator group in St. Louis, because there's so many good things going on here, but we get into our school bubble and we spend our time with the people down the hall, and that limits us to a certain extent because, you know, they only know so much, we only know so much, we only have so many resources. What we hope this is going to do is kind of expand that out in a lot of different ways, so we can, you know, kind of take the Google goodness a little further than just our classrooms.
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback on what Bill was saying, and I think the connecting is huge. Is a huge piece of that. I think having those connections where it's not necessarily inside of our classroom, but outside the classroom, and who we can call on and connect with across the St. Louis area, I think that's been a big piece that I have, you know, really kind of taken away of being a part of this Google community, whether it is, you know, the GEG of Eastern Missouri or being a Google certified teacher. It's the connections and having those teammates collaborate and talk with and get connected with, and I think that's a huge piece. I'll say that's one of those things that I'm really excited about with those opportunities through the GEG Eastern Missouri. So.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead, and we have Kim and Kelly seem as though they have joined us now. So hopefully, if we could have them go ahead. Are you guys' mics working? Can you will you be able to unmute yourself and join our conversation?
Can you guys hear me?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Can you just kind of introduce yourself and tell us what you do, where you teach, who you are, those kind of things?
Sure. Greg actually invited me to this group, and I am a librarian at Liberty High School in the Wentzville School District, and just am always floored by all of the great things that Greg shares with our teachers, and I'm implementing a makerspace in my library this year, so really interested just to hear feedback from the group.
Cool. I did not pay her to say that. Yes, but thank you. Yes. No. All right, Kim, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Kim Adkins. I teach ELA at South Middle. I also in Greg's district in Wentzville. And I've just been absolutely amazed about the tech that we are gaining in our district, and you know, with coaches like Craig and Mike, I got to spend some time with them this summer and several workshops, and I'm really excited about using Google Classroom this year with my kids. I've been using Google Drive for the last couple of years, and I just think it's amazing, all the things that we're able to bring to our kids. So I'm hoping to bring more of that.
Cool.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. All right, Greg.
All right. So with our group, with the GEG Eastern Missouri, what can you expect? There's really kind of comes down to three things: connections, learning, and support. We definitely want to make sure those things are very prominent in what we do. We're always going to be coming back to those, the connections, the learning, and the support. So connections, one of the biggest things that you'll notice is that we will have kind of a GEG, EMO, Eastern Missouri group.
EMO?
Yes, EMO. I love that acronym. Apparently we might need to choose something else, but it's good for us right now.
Just don't make it a hashtag.
Yeah, that's hashtag EMO. So the really cool thing with the connection is that we have a Google community set up there. So on Google+, you can join us on the community, and it's really about those connections that are going to appear in there, making sure we can connect with each other and build those communities that we can. It's not about what we're doing in our schools, but throughout the the St. Louis area, throughout Eastern Missouri, and eventually throughout throughout the world. So you'll notice we have a community that we want you to be a part of. We're also, which kind of lends itself into learning, at least once a quarter, so every couple of months that we're going to get together, whether it is face-to-face or through a Google Hangout. There will be opportunities to learn from each other, connect with each other, and really kind of just have opportunities to take away ideas and share kind of the cool things that are going on around and that you're doing. And that last little bit is support, and I think this is a huge one. A lot of times, we kind of get in what we're doing. Sometimes we're kind of the leaders in our school, and some of the teachers are looking at what are we doing that may not be out of the norm, and that we're here to support each other. And once again, this is going to be a fantastic group that we can connect with and learn with and support each other through these initiatives and through the amazing things that you as an educator and educators are doing in their schools.
Yeah, I love learning about what other people are doing and seeing how we can kind of play to each other and add an audience and help each other out. The support piece, I had a teacher in my building today that asked me a Google Classroom question. It was a problem that came up on mobile devices that I'd never seen before. So I'm definitely going to be posting something like that to the group just to see if who else has done that or has anyone else had that problem. So I like the group for those kind of things.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead then. Move on to our next piece here, and you know, one of the things, as Greg was just talking about, you know, those three elements. We, you know, the connections, the learning, and the support. Basically, how that's going to manifest itself is we're going to have at least 4 events per year. Now, what that means is those might be face-to-face events, they may be virtual events, they may be events that are kind of tagged on to other events. So one of the things that's big in the St. Louis area is that the Midwest Education Technology Conference, METC, that happens in March. We will have something that goes along with that. Just to give people the opportunity to connect, have conversation, and collaborate. So our requirement from Google to be, kind of, I don't want to say sponsored, but supported by Google is to have at least 4 events per year. So once a quarter, we plan to have to hold some sort of event. Now, chances are, because we're googly people, we're going to do those in a googly format, and a Hangout works out pretty well for that. The other piece, though, is kind of more of an ongoing basis, is that the Google Plus community that is out there that is for Eastern Missouri, and so that URL that's right there, it's tinyurl.com/GEGEMO. And that's going to take you directly to our Google Plus community, which is, I know how some of you got connected here tonight anyway. But what that's going to be kind of our ongoing, that's the hub of our conversation. And hopefully, I'm inviting you who are here with us tonight, but also anybody watching, to become part of that community and really become involved by sharing what you're doing, sharing what others are doing, and then asking questions as well, because that's really how we learn. With Patrick talking about his question from classroom, that teacher is not the only person who's going to have that question. And I've found it over the years, Greg and I have worked together for many years now on different things. And I found that connection that we have has been tremendously valuable in getting information and finding out and sharing just what's going on, so that we have the opportunity. I mean, we have similar sized school districts, but if we didn't have that connection, I'd have no idea what was happening in Wentzville. I'd be in my little Parkway bubble, and that's really easy for us to do. And we are hoping through this community that we can move beyond that and really begin to have some bigger conversations outside of our own districts and make connections across things. Because as people, we attend different things, and I'm just looking forward to meeting not only virtually face-to-face and just learning from the people who are involved in this group. It's going to be, I really think it's going to be amazing here as we go forward. So, Greg or Patrick, do you have anything to add to that little spiel?
I want to hear about people's wins. You know, your wins in the classroom, your wins in the library, your wins in the school or the district, and share those out because you know it's motivating to hear, and it's interesting to think about. You know, in your own school district or in your own classroom. So share the wins. That's what I would say.
You know, and the other thing that I want to be sure that everybody kind of, you know, understands and gets a hold of, this isn't, even though this is a Google Educator group, this isn't just Google stuff. So it doesn't have to, you know, we are not confined to the realm of Google. We can branch out in different ways. You know, Kelly, I actually am Stacia. So I run our library program in Parkway. So I'm very interested. We have some librarians who are interested in maker spaces, and I will actually be out in Wentzville here before too long for ETA. And so I may just have to come by and see what you're doing, so that I can bring that back and talk with my own librarians.
Absolutely.
Right, no pressure, no pressure, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, so on to that end, let's start talking about our year. And what I'm going to ask people to do is just so for those of you who are on the call, up at the top I'm going to ask you to kind of share what you're excited about this year. And I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen so that, you know, well, as we record this, other people can see. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to mute your microphone when you're not on. But really, what is it that you're excited about this year? What is, you know, what's exciting for you? What's happening in your district? What's happening in your classroom? Are you doing something new that maybe you haven't done in the past? Whether that's a maker space or, you know, something else. And I'll go ahead and start this. Let me stop sharing though. I'm going to go ahead and start this because what I'm so stoked about, you guys, you don't even know how long this has taken. We in Parkway finally are adopting Google Apps for Education.
Yay!
Legitimately, 8 years ago, I started having these conversations. And it has taken 8 years for us to be able to adopt Google Apps. You've been using Google for a long time, and people have been using it. But we have given, you know, and you guys know, if you're in app schools, we have opened up so many doors for kids just by doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and actually run and get my power cord so that, because here's the thing, if my connection goes, the hangout's over because I started it. So I'm going to mute. I'm going to let you guys kind of take over, and I will be right back.
All right. Well, I will go. So I teach 8th grade science, and one thing, well, there's a few things, but one thing I'm really excited about is just getting more into project-based learning this year with my kids. And I'm kind of looking at it through a makerspace lens because the projects get amazingly cooler when you add power tools and circuitry and sewing machines. Because when, you know, I think of the makerspace as just it is adding to the projects that we're now doing in class and adding to the work we're now doing in class. I taught a makerspace summer school class, and through that, you know, kids got to do skill builders every day. You know, circuitry. Let's make aprons for our makerspace. Let's, you know, do a woodworking skill and build a mobile cart that we can put all of our tools in and move it around the classroom, and move it to different classrooms. So we have a big, huge wooden cart that we built in summer school now that it's kind of like the computer cart for tools, and it can travel around to different rooms and really, take projects to a whole new level is the hope. So mobile makerspace is happening and this year. So that is something I'm really excited about, and just excited to see what is that going to do to projects. Now we have a project coming up in class where kids are going to design their own experiment with algae, and so they have to design and build different containers to grow algae in and experiment to see which one's going to work the best and why does it work the best. And it's so the tools that we have now, like we have a MakerBot, we have a 3D printer, we have drills and drivers and saws and sewing machines and the makey, and it's a lot of tools that are out there that have just added to the beakers and scales and science glassware that are normally in the lab now. So super excited about where that's going to take us in toy hacking this year, where that's going to take us in our arcade circuit project. We've done some design thinking before with one project last year, but starting to think about where else could that kind of style of problem solving incorporate into our classroom. And I'm excited about project-based learning and looking at it through the makerspace, just the opportunity it's going to bring kids, because kids are going to be able to explore, build, and design in ways that they haven't been able to before. And the hope here is that these tools and the challenges that we do in class, like we have one challenge where they have to decrease waste in their school, community, or home. And so, are they going to make a robot now that picks up trash? Are they going to make a trash can that says thank you, or a recycle bin that says thank you when you throw it away? Like, I'm excited to see what's going to happen this year when we have these projects paired with the tools that the kids have. So that is me, and I'm gonna go Don. So Don is an awesome 7th grade teacher in my building, and he's been doing some really neat stuff. So I'm gonna let Don talk about what he's doing.
Yeah, now I have to bring Patrick a check tomorrow. That's nice, thanks. So I am also going towards project-based learning because the stuff that we've been doing in 7th grade for social studies is pretty sucky. It's just the book video test type of thing. I'm not big on tests anyway, so I started last year, about halfway through the year, just throwing all that stuff away and just doing more project-based learning. We've got the standards, we've got the curriculum, we can work from that. And so, this year, the first day of school, when we're talking about how class is going to run, and I tell the kids there are no tests this year, there is no assigned written homework this year, it's just not going to be, they thought I was an imposter and the real teacher was going to show up in 10 minutes. But, yeah, it didn't, it just, I see no purpose for it, because we're constantly asking the kids, think outside the box, do things differently, and then we as teachers don't. So my point is, we're going to go project-based. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but I know it's going to work. Right now I don't have a system of grading yet, so I need to work with Patrick and our new principal, Stacy, to come up with a grading system, because right now we're not having any grades. So until I figure that out, I have a problem. In English, we've always done, I teach English too, and we've always done Writer's Workshop, which I think is the ultimate project-based learning. It's been around for 30, 40 years, and everything is a writing project, because that's how we learn. We learn in projects. And so I've always done Writer's Workshop, and that's always worked pretty well. And then team-wide, my teaching partner and I do 20% time with the kids. And I'll give up one of my class periods every week, and she'll give up one of her class periods every week. And the kids work on their own design learning, and it could be building something or problem solving something. We start early in the year. This year we're going to start about October 1st, and we'll spend a few weeks just coming up with an idea, something that these kids are passionate about, something that they really want to learn about. And they'll pitch. They'll pitch a committee of curriculum coordinators and principals and superintendents, like Shark Tank, that television show. And so they'll get all duded up, and they'll have their visual presentation, and they will pitch. And after that, they start working on it. And we have a few checkpoints along the way, but they're expected by the end of the year to have learned something. Now, they don't have to have a finished product. They don't have to have any product. They just have to have a demonstration of their learning. And so to demonstrate that, we have student TED Talks at the end of the year in May. So we get in the auditorium, we have our tech specialist videotape them all, and they get up there and they do a 5-minute TED Talk on their learning journey this year. And it could be anything from, we had a group build a go-kart with a sound system. We had another kid start his own line of bass baits, and now he has a website where he's doing e-commerce with his new line of bass baits. We had kids start some service groups. We had all kinds of different things. And these are things that these kids came up with because they were passionate about them, and all we did was help. You know, we'll help you find out, because we don't know. My teaching partner and I, we don't know the first thing about bass baits. Where do you find out that stuff? Well, now I know who to go to. So there's a lot of new stuff. Plus, in 7th grade this year, we're getting one-to-one Chromebooks with our kids, which I think is amazing, because a one-on-one environment is a great system to work in, and I think it'll solve a lot of the technology problems that you run into in a school setting. So I'm pretty excited. I know there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, especially with the grading system in social studies. So if anybody has any advice on that, I'd be happy to take it. Thank you very much. And that's about it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Don. So at Hickson, 7th grade is going one-to-one this year. We've been late. The orders come in late, so there's some hiccups in that area, but they'll get here from everything we've heard.
Yeah.
So it'll be 7th grade this year, and then 8th grade as well the following year. So it's kind of a one trial year this year to 7th grade's hopefully going to work out all the kinks, right, Don?
You bet. You bet.
Right. So that is really exciting. And one person that I wanted to bring on, but she had to go pick up someone from the airport, was Merlene Gilb. And one thing, Merlene is one of the early childhood administrators in Webster Groves, and she has a committee together that is working on something called the Innovation School, and it's we're at a stage in our district where we're considering building, and so Merlene is kind of heading up a committee that is thinking about if school were to be designed and made right now, what would it look like? And it's a really exciting thing to think about and kind of dream about, but then ultimately, like, at the end, something along the lines of an innovation school is going to happen where it looks different than the schools that were put in place over 100 years ago. So that's something that is also exciting in Webster Groves. But let's go, Greg. What's going on in Wentzville?
Cool. Yeah, I'm loving that this is being recorded right now, because there's so many great ideas that are happening, and I'm, of course, not taking notes, so I'm glad that I can go back and watch. I loved the ideas I'm hearing so far. So cool. Well, we're, as an instructional tech specialist, we're in our 4th year of a one-to-one in our high schools, and we had some kind of switching around of positions and things like that. So one of the cool things I'm excited about is I'll be strictly working with high school this year, which I'm pretty excited about. But I've been working with our teachers for the past 4 years, moving into this one-to-one. So what's really cool is this is our second year really where every single grade level has a device, as in the second year, for as freshman, sophomore. But now we are like fully in, and this is the second year that everybody's been on. So I'm pretty excited about we're getting comfortable, hopefully getting a little more comfortable with how the devices work, using them in our classroom. So really what I'm excited about is kind of taking it to the next level. Where are we going to go with this? Building those connections, the collaboration, where it's not just inside of the classroom, but it's outside the classroom. And whether it's connecting other classrooms with other classrooms in our district, or with some of you guys around the St. Louis area or Missouri or the world. But it's really kind of taking it to the next level, really using these devices to enhance and give our students those opportunities they really wouldn't have had without the device. And using it more than just taking notes, and using it more than just creating a PowerPoint, but really leveraging those devices to enhance what our students are doing. So it's really more on the really kind of taking it to the next level. That's really what we're working on this year, and excited to see where it's going to go and where it's going to lead us. So I guess I'm going to pass it on, since we're kind of keeping it, I guess, school-based. I'm going to pass it on to Kelly, and if you'll be willing to share kind of what you're excited about, what you're working on this year.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really excited to really transform the library. So we had parents actually come into the library tonight, and they always come in and kind of do the joke thing where they're like, shh, you have to be really quiet when you go in the library. And I'm like, you know what? That is not the way I want my library to be. I want it to be a place where all of our kids, regardless of whether or not they are readers, want to be, and that's really why I've wanted to implement the Makerspace. So I was actually at METC, and Patrick, you and a couple of other guys did a presentation about makerspaces, and I was with a couple of other librarians, and it just totally blew our minds. And so we were thinking about how can we implement this in our library. So our district offers grants, and so a couple of librarians, one at the middle school level and myself, applied for these $500 grants, and had to put together an idea of what we were going to do with the money, of course. And I was really excited to put the grant together, and then when I was actually awarded the money, I was like, okay, so this is real. What am I going to do with this? How am I going to do this? Because it is a little bit scary. I'm from an English background, and thinking about having to do things with Arduino and Raspberry Pi and circuitry and power tools, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm excited too. I know that the kids are just going to take it and run with it, and they're going to just be their little creative selves, and I'm going to be blown away by the types of things that they do in the library. So we actually have our libraries, this is only our second year open, and we have 3 study rooms that were just built into the design, and so we're going to be using one of those spaces as a small makerspace to start. And the middle school librarian that I'm working with, she and I have kind of come up with monthly themes for our makerspace, and we're going to promote those to our students and just say, hey, we're open before school, we're open after school during lunch, but if you have some time, some free time during the day, and your teacher gives you a pass, you can come down and play in the makerspace as well. So I'm kind of concerned just that the kids, because I don't have a class of kids that I'm working with, I'm concerned that maybe I won't have as much traffic as I want to have in there. So for me, it's really about making sure that I'm exposing it, making sure I'm telling as many people as I can about it, and encouraging the kids to come down and just learn through play. So I'm very excited about that. As I said, also a little bit scared. So really, really excited to hear about what you guys are doing with your own maker spaces. And I think, was it Dawn, when you talked about the TED Talks, the 5-minute TED Talks, that just totally blew my mind. So thank you for sharing that. That's great.
Sure.
So Kelly, we need to talk. That's the thing that struck my mind. So yes.
Yeah, that was so good.
Cool. So Kim, let's pass it on to you.
Okay. I don't have any majorly grand plans. Since I teach middle school in Wentzville, we're a little bit limited when it comes to technology right now. I know that, and Greg can probably speak a little more to this, we have more technology coming our way. It's just a little bit slower getting down to us. So some of the things that I really want to work on with my kids this year is that publishing piece beyond just the classroom. And so I think I want to push my kids to do some blogging this year. And so there's a couple of different avenues that I can take with that. And then, of course, that thinking outside the box. For some reason, the last couple groups of kids I've had don't really initiate additional research on things. They don't advance their knowledge on it. They kind of just do the basic. So I want to try to help instill that in them with the technology that we do have. And so we're very lucky because we're allowed to let our kids use their devices in class as long as they have permission at home. And so I want to incorporate some of those things as well on top of Google Classroom. So I have a couple of small things in the works that I think are going to make a big impact this year. So, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I like the TED Talk idea. That's amazing. So I'm going to take that, I think.
Cool. It looks like Don shared that link out. Harmonizedlearning.blogspot.com is their blog. So on this blog we have links to our students' blogs, and they have to keep blogs too. And on the blog there's also videos of the student TED Talk. So I'm excited to go check that link out. So it's
Awesome.
harmonizedlearning.blogspot.com.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
All right, so let me, we're going to start. Stacia, do you have mic?
Can you hear me?
Yep. All right.
Oh, yay!
So let's
That's why I got that tech degree.
That must be it. All right, so I'm gonna let Stacia kind of talk about what she's excited about. Yeah, and Stacia, go ahead and reintroduce yourself because I'm pretty sure I didn't do you justice.
Oh, you didn't do too bad. So I'm an elementary librarian. Right now we are in year 2 of overcoming doubt of what the kids are capable of doing. So last year I led 70 first graders using Google presentations to do their digital publishing after their nonfiction unit. And the first grade teachers looked at me like I was crazy, but I'm like, no, this will work. So I created a dummy account and worked off this. So I'm really excited about the Google education piece because that'll save me a lot of time. So now we're just trying to get the kids all rolled out, and CAPTCHA is evil. Third graders can't read it, just so you know. So working through that. But now I met with my instructional coach earlier today, and we looked over everyone's pacing and said, okay, how can we use Google instead of the usual go-tos, instead of PowerPoint, instead of this? Kindergarten uses Pixie. Is there a way that we can use some kind of Google application instead of something as simplistic as Pixie? So that's the goal right now, is to find different ways that this can be functional at our level, and realizing that the kids are capable of doing it once you show them how it works. So that's our goal this year. So far, I haven't done too bad, I think.
What I can't... Right, okay, I'm unmuted now. What I can say for, in terms of what Stacia has done is she has overcome a lot of that, just a lot of that doubt. And I think, when we're, as educators, I think what happens sometimes is we kind of get mired in what our notions of what kids are capable of. And what I really appreciate about the work that Stacia's doing is she's been pushing hard on that. And and I think that honestly, I don't think she gives herself enough credit for what she's the strides that she's made, just in the thinking about what opportunities can we give kids to really roll with the things that they want to do and that we want them to do, and not give ourselves the limitations that we impose on them, make those kind of self-fulfilling prophecies for them. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of a lesson that we can all learn, and I'm glad Stacia could join us tonight. But Ryan, you're up, buddy. We're gonna if you can just what are you rolling with? What are you excited about?
Oh boy, I've just been sitting here listening. Now I'm all excited. I got so much stuff to talk about. So well, first of all, I'm so happy about like the connection piece that I mean, not only this group here, but going to ISTE for the first time this year, I've made tons of connections, and I always in our district, whenever Bill's around, I put him in a corner and lock him down. I'm sitting there talking to him, so I'm sure he's happy. I'm finding other people to talk to, and Tom Svoboda is another guy in our district, so I will lock those guys down because well, Bill, you probably know more because you get out more than I do in the district, but it's hard to find people that understand what I'm talking about. Like Twitter is a whole other world. They're like, why do you even on Twitter? So we still have teachers like that, which is fine. I'm not saying that's bad, but they don't get. Sometimes I don't think they get me. But so I'm excited about the opportunity to go through here and see something. And in a second, I'm going to talk about Don as my new best friend. Because of what he said, but I'm really excited about us going to Google because for years, and I've been talking to Bill for years, and it's so dumb. I just draw it out on paper, like what I envisioned for like almost probably about 8 years ago, and I've always been looking for a vehicle to do this with my kids where they are able to share, and I'm able to see what they're doing, and I can comment on it, and just that interactive piece, and they can share out to the world and get that more realistic feedback. So I'm thinking Google is what's going to be this one-stop shop for me, and with Google Classroom, I'm chomping at the bit to get in there and see what that's all about. Because before I had them going like Moodle, I had them going to Edmodo, I had them going to my website, I'd link out to other chat places, and my number one complaint from all my students every year is it's too many places, too many passwords. And so I'm happy that we as a district are starting to cut some of that stuff out, and we'll have just their own Gmail account, their own one login for Drive and those type of things. So I'm really excited about that to help streamline some of that stuff. The other piece is the 20% time. I did 20% time last year for the first time, and I've been dragging my feet for years. I've been wanting to do it, but always afraid of a complete disaster failure. So I never took the plunge, and finally just decided if I'm ever going to do it, I'm going to just have to start it, and if I make mistakes, I make mistakes, and I'll learn from it. So I kind of did the same thing. That's why I got excited with Don. I started in January after winter break and let them get 1 day a week to work on whatever they're passionate about, create something, or work on different community service projects and stuff kids did. And it was awesome. At the end, we did 5-minute TED Talk style talks as well. I didn't tape mine though, which is something that I need to correct. And I love the Shark Tank idea as well. Like they pitched it to me and the class, but bringing in more of that audience is something that would definitely be better. But yeah, and I had kids last year for the first time. 2 girls came up to me and they wanted to design their own high heel shoes. And I'm not a fashion guy at all. I had no clue. So it's really empowering to say to them, okay, I'll help you. Like if I was really going to do this, I would look into somebody and see if we can find somebody at a local shoe company that could maybe help. And so they contacted, but all I did is point them in the direction. They did it all. And so they emailed somebody at the Brown Shoe Company. And she said, yeah, sure, send us our design. So, and I teach 7th grade, so what do you think their girl designs look like? They were done in colored pencil on loose leaf paper and all this stuff. And what was great is the person at Brown Shoe Company said, well, this is good, and I like your idea, but if you really want to do this, here's what you have to do in real life. And the kid said, okay, we'll do it. So they changed it, made designs, and they worked back and forth on this project. And she said, okay, now you have it, what we would call, step 1, and it would go up, and I would send us on to the next part. So she goes, I'm going to do that. So she sent the next part, and they went through the whole process till finally their designs got sent overseas to China, and they made the shoes for them as a, what am I looking for? Just as not a demo, but a prototype. Yeah, prototype shoes. So they actually presented that in their TED style talk. They had designed shoe boxes and everything else, and they open up the shoe boxes and pop out these shoes to the class, and jaws dropped. And so the idea of 20% time and letting kids work on something passionate, and I teach science, and some people might say, well, how is fashion science? I'm like, design is science. Being able to do a technical drawing and going through the processes of sketching and then coming back and making corrections and putting it in the right format. That's science. It may not fit in what Parkway's curriculum says, we're supposed to do under this GLE or standard or whatever, but if that's probably the most real science they got from me all year, just real life connection. And that's just one example. I had kids doing Scratch video games. I had kids trying to make mobile apps, and I don't know if Don probably has the same experience, but a lot of them fail. They never come up with that end product where jaws drop, but what they said in their TED Talk made my jaw drop. Like, okay, you've learned something here. You may not realize it because they're up there thinking, well, I got an F, and I don't. I'm same as Don. We don't grade them on the project, but their mindset is set that way. Like, it's all about, is it done and right, and am I getting an A on it? And they're thinking I got an F, and I'm thinking you learn more through this process, even though you don't have the end project, than I ever could have taught you. So I'm just excited for year 2 of that, and just all that stuff. I don't want to talk too much because I could go on all night.
I love that. Design is science. Boom. That is awesome. Yeah, that makes me want to have more conversations with you, Ryan.
I'm excited. I'm glad I got to come in tonight because I'm always looking for people that at least can support my crazy thinking. So
Right.
it sounds like I found a few.
Connections are like crack. It's awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you can believe it, we have been doing this for about 55 minutes. So our time is running down. It seems like it's only been 10. Just like listening to everybody, it's pretty amazing. There's one other thing though that I want to be sure that everybody knows about, and it's an event that's coming up in October, and that is we are having a Google Summit at Maplewood Richmond Heights on October 4th. It is a Saturday. It is an all-day event. Registration is open on the website that's listed there on the page. That's MoGAF, MoGAFE.com. Nope, I'm wrong. I knew I was going to be wrong. It's GAFMO. Sorry.
There you go.
And when I wrote it, I thought,
Google presentation win. Anyone can change the presentation.
all right. Well, thank you, Greg. So GAFMO.com. Honestly, here's the thing. Don't really know where MoGAF is going to take you, so do that at your own risk. But GAFMO.com. Oh, I can't believe that. GAFMO.com is where you can go to register for that. It's a one-day event. It's $80, so it's really inexpensive, as far as conferences go. But it proves to be a pretty good show, and it's an all-day deal. If you want to come and connect with people and learn about googly things, this is the place to go in St. Louis here in just a few weeks. So that's one thing that I wanted to be sure that everybody knew about, and it is, in fact, GAFMO, not MoGAF. Mm-hmm. So, we would love to see folks there and, to meet up and have some conversation. The Friday night before, actually on October 3rd, there is a social get-together. I don't remember where that is, though, Greg. Do you?
At Latitude 26.
So Latitude 26, I am sure that there will be things to partake in while we are there. But, we basically, I want to invite everybody, and I hope that some of you will be able to make it. And, beyond that, I just really want to thank everybody for taking the time to spend with us tonight, sharing your thoughts and sharing what you're excited about, what's going on, and just remember to tell your friends, tell them about the Google Educator group in St. Louis, because it is, and you know, we called it. We were very intentional about calling it Eastern Missouri and not just St. Louis. So, you know, be sure that that's, you know, tell people, let them know that there is a group out there of like-minded individuals. You can come and, you know, hang out and talk crazy things with Ryan, and we can, you know, we can all help. That's really what we're trying to do here. So, is there anything else for the cause? Anybody want to say any last words as we go here? Nope. Okay then. Well, again, I thank you for coming. Please be active. If you haven't joined our community, please do that. And reach out, ping us, and you know, ping each other, and really try to connect. Remember that that slide that Greg had about connecting, learning, and supporting. That's what we're here for, and that's what we want, you know, everybody to have that opportunity. So, you guys have a wonderful night.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed spending the last hour with you. And yeah, truly, thank you for coming. I am going to stop the broadcast now, but we will still be in